Hello, teacher Mixi. My name is Abel Consuegra, uh, and now I present the following class for the seventh grade, and the class is for the weather and time. Um, I use the methods project-based learning, and with the project-based learning, I try to find the interaction uh, in the with the classmates and the professor. In this time, the professor. Uh, I am the professor. And, and now let's start with the class. For this class, I wanna go to use the PPT presentation. With the PPT presentation, I am going to project the class and the basic concept about the weather. And remember that this class is for the student of the seventh grade, and they don't have an advanced English. For these reasons, I try uh, to develop the basic concept about the weather. The objective of the class is learn about the different weather conditions by learning new vocabulary first, first, and recognize the difference mean of the weather and the importance for our planet and environment. And I try to convince the theory with the practice. Um, the learning goals is analyze and identify the different factors that influence the weather and compare the importance of the weather in the environment. I beginning this class with the brainstorming, and first I ask of the student. You know what is the weather? You know what is the characteristics of the weather? And in this moment, the student have a time for things and give uh, any answer. Yes. Later, um, we can walk around the school, around the class, and we can try to identify what is the condition of the weather at the moment. Maybe any student say, "Oh, today is sunny. Oh, today is cloudy. Today is rainy." But it is the weather, student. It is the weather. It's the conditions that we find in our environments. Okay. Later, the explorative questions, later the brainstorming of my class. I continued the class with this presentation. Here we have a concept of the weather for the student. The weather, what is the weather? Is the condition of atmosphere at a specific place over a short period of time of a few days. It is the weather. It's the condition that we find in an environment in a short period. Second, the weather have an element students. The different element that influence in the environment. Yes. For example, the air temperature, the air pressure, the humidity, the wind, the cloud, and the sea precipitations. And also, we can find the distance from the sea is the, the different elements that influence in the weather. And later, we have a different type of weather. For example, student, yesterday, uh, what what have what weather that we have today? What weather we have? And the student identify, oh, yesterday was rainy, but today is sunny. It is the weather, students. And we have a different weather. different type of weather: sunny, cloudy, windy, rainy, storm, and snowy. And uh, later, this important term, students, um, you can discuss about the weather. You can you can think what is the importance of the weather for you. For example, um, 1 month ago we have in different places we have a flooding. We have a flooding in Yavisa. We have a flooding along the Chucunaco River. We have a flooding in Panama City. We have a flooding in Cañita. But student, what do you think? How affect the flood in your life? Yes, the different situation that we use in case it's a raining, we have flooding, and the importance of the weather is the weather affect our daily life. The weather affect the ways we live our daily activity. The weather uh, affect also what types of house we live in. For example, in case we live near to the any river, for sure you need to build a high house. Yes, the floor in the house is high. So in case you have any flood, you need to stay safe. And now, student, in case we have 2 minutes. We have weather and climate. You know what is the difference between weather and climate? In this moment, I give a time for the student things in the in this question. But every time we know about the climate change, but the weather is the set of condition every day. The weather is the set of condition in 1 day, in 1 week. But the climate is the series of changes that occur in the long term or time. Yes. But every time we listen about the climate change, yes, for sure, the climate change is in the long term. Okay, I I think in 2 hours uh, I can develop this part of my class. But for the next 2 hours, we have an activity for the student. And for my class, I think it's very important the interaction of the student. And for these situations, I think it's very important the next activity. For example, in group of two, the students will do a drawings about the relief of the Orient. But you know, the Orient is very humid and hot. And student, what you consider is the reason the Orient is very humid and hot? And I give a time for the student to talk between them about these questions. Few minutes later, the students identify any factor, and we can discuss about the factor. Yes. And when they drawing the relief of the rain, we can talk about these characteristics that influence in the relief of our province. First, the student need to drawings need to do a drawing like this. Yes, and with this, when a drawing they can find every time we have a different condition in our program that influence in the web. And later, the student need to talk about the drawings. It's our first activity. Um, the other activity that we use with this topic is creating a glossary with 20 words that is new for the students, and the student need to give an answer for this glossary. This those activity is a summatory. Um, uh, Later, when the student in the end uh, finish with the questionnaire and the drawings first, the drawing need to present, and we have the criterion evaluation for this drawing. For example, the punctuality 5 point, the clarity 5 point, content of the drawing 5 point, and the um, clarity 5 point is the punctuation for the drawing, and is a 25 point. Yes, punctuality, creativity, clarity, and content. Um, for the glossary that the student developed is a have an evaluation criterion 20 points. The 20 points is a 5 point of a punctuality, 5 point clarity, context 10 points, and coherence 5 points. Total 20 points. Um, with this activity that the student need to deliver me, and in the end of this class, the student that we know different concepts, different words, and uh, they know to identify the condition or provides. They uh, understands clear uh, what is the importance of the weather on or daily day. Um, and also, in the end of this class, the students identify better the different conditions that we have in the weather every time, and we know the better what is the importance of the weather in the daily day. Okay, teacher. Um, I hope my class is clear. I'm sorry. I prefer to project in the classroom, but I'm trying to explain in my work. Um, I use it the the method of project-based learning with the interaction of the students, and I think the student of 11th grade maybe not understand everything about the the class, but they know different word about the weather, about the topic. And um, with the brainstorming in the when I start the class, yes, I think the students um, give answer about the exploratory questions and the develop of the class. I try to use an common chair for the student understand on. I use the familiarization of the context of my class. Yes, with what happened in our environment. Um, I think with this form, the students understand better what is the the definition, what is the factors, what is the importance of the weather, but the weather affect the social life. Yes, and with the drawings, uh, they can identify uh, what is the weather of the province, and with the vocabulary they refer the different concepts that they find in the class. And the aim, I hope the students understand better the 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 topic about the web. It's everything for me. Thank you so much.